Hi guys, I'm here with our top-of-the-line bass amp called Blacksmith. And in this video I'm going to give you a quick overview of the main features of Blacksmith. So if you want to know a little more about each of the different features, please have a look at one of the other videos where I go into a bit more detail on each of the different features in here. Now, to get the obvious out of the way, Blacksmith is a genuine powerhouse. It puts out 1600 watts into 4 ohms and it is capable of producing peaks of more than 4500 watts. But not only that, it also runs down to 2 ohms in terms of impedance on the cabinets, which basically means that you could connect up to 1610s if you need that someday. So I think power-wise you probably won't run dry anytime soon with the Blacksmith. So what else is in this bass amp? Well, it's borrowed a lot and inherited a lot from our cornerstone bass amp RH450, but there's a couple of different features in here. The main things that we want to talk about in this video is the built-in tuner, the tone shaping capabilities, and the 3 presets. So let's have a closer look. Starting out with the tuner, which kind of makes sense before you start playing. There's a chromatic tuner built in, as you can see right here, which is always on, and you can also mute both the speaker output and the DI output while you're tuning. So you'll get that nice chromatic tuner right there. To the right hand side over here we have 4 tone controls. Now these tone controls are pretty standard. You see these on pretty much any bass amp out there, and these are not much different from that. There's a bass control, low mid, high mid, and treble. So these work as on any of the millions of other bass amps out there. However, the tone controls are also capable of being semi-parametric EQs, each and every one of them, if you want to. So you could either just use them as they are, simple and easy to work tone controls, or if you want to become really advanced, you hit the shift button and now you can change the center frequency of each of the 4 bands on the tone control. So that basically means that you can change where your tone control grabs your sound and custom design that to your bass or to your setting where you're playing or to whatever cabs you choose to connect. So that's the tone control section. Next to the tone control section we have something that we call Spectrocomp. Spectrocomp is in essence a multi-band compressor. So it's 3 different bands, and it is in fact 3 different compressors that are compressing the lows and the mids and the highs completely independently. What that means for a bass player is effectively that you get the snappy kind of tight sound that you like from a compressor, but at the same time it doesn't kill your dynamics entirely because it's compressing lows and mids and highs independently. So it doesn't kill your playing, in other words. Very, very cool feature. Right next to Spectrocomp we have Tubetone. Tubetone is another one of the features that we borrowed from the RH450, and it recreates a full-on tube amp. So in other words, what Tubetone does is that it's a full-on recreation of both the preamp section of a tube amp, but also the power amp and power supply, which is very, very important in order to recreate the feel and the touch of a real tube amp. So that's what Tubetone does. Finally, down here we have something that's called Tubetone. Tubetone is a fairly new knob and feature to our bass amps, and the easy explanation or the easy wording of that is that it is in fact a simulation of the knob that you normally have on the back side of your cabinets. We simply thought that it would make more sense to have, HF regulation on the front panel of your bass amp and be able to include that as one of the tweaking knobs that you can use when you set your sound. So what it basically allows you to do is to control all the HF that comes out of your different cabinets without having to grab one or maybe multiple knobs on the back side of your cabinet. So that's Tubetone. And finally, up here, my favorite feature of this bass amp, the 3 presets. 3 presets are very simple to use. What they basically allow me to do is to dial in a specific sound that I like, press and hold, and now I've stored this sound, so I can go on and do a different setting, add some mids, roll off some of the highs, add a little more bass, store that on memory too. And now I've stored my second sound, and by simply pushing this button one more time, I can go back to my first sound. And of course this also works with our RC4 remote control that allows you to change the memory settings on the fly while playing, or mute while you tune up. So basically Blacksmith and RC4 is of course compatible. So that's the quick overview of Blacksmith If you want to know a little bit more, have a look at some of the other videos with a little more detail on it. Thanks for watching.